Awaken Light Audio. Awaken your mind, ignite your light.
Transform your life with unshakable habits of the wise. What if just 6 months of focused action could completely rewrite your life? Not 6 years, not when the timing is perfect, just 6 months, but only if you dare to commit, like the wise do, with habits that don't break under pressure. The wise don't wait for motivation. They don't chase excitement. They move with intention. They show up daily, in silence, in structure, in self-command, and the world calls it luck. But it was never luck. It was quiet discipline. You don't need more time. You need more clarity. Need habits so deeply rooted in who you are that failure becomes unnatural, and consistency becomes your identity. Unlocking the journey, there comes a moment in every person's life when the question is no longer, what do I want? But rather, what am I willing to become? Maybe you're here because you've had enough of half-built plans and forgotten promises. Maybe something inside you knows you're capable of more, not in a loud, ego-driven way, but in that deep, sacred voice that whispers, I was made for something higher. This is not about becoming superhuman. This is about becoming so rooted, so deliberate, so wise in your daily habits that transformation becomes inevitable. And that begins with the most powerful shift of all. Chapter 1. Take radical responsibility for your life. Your life changes the moment you stop saying, why me? And start asking, what now? No one becomes powerful by accident. No one transforms by chance. Every person you admire, every grounded, focused, wise individual has one thing in common. They take full radical responsibility for their life. They don't wait for the world to give them permission. They don't hide behind excuses, stories, or circumstances. They own it. The pain, the mistakes, the patterns, the choices. And because they own it, they can change it. The blame trap, it's easy to blame. Your past, your parents, the economy, your ex, the system, your lack of time, energy, or luck. But blame is seductive because it makes you feel safe. It makes you feel like it's not your fault. And it might not be, but here's the truth. It doesn't have to be your fault to be your responsibility, even if someone else caused the wound. Healing, it is still your job. Even if life gave you a broken starting point, building something better is still in your hands. Responsibility doesn't mean shame. It means power. It means stepping into the driver's seat, gripping the wheel and saying, this is my life, and I will no longer live it passively. A simple reframe from victim to creator. Let's say you didn't get the job. Old mindset, it's not fair. They don't see my value. Wise mindset, what skill do I need to sharpen? What impression did I leave? What part of me can I grow? Let's say someone broke your trust. Old mindset, people always hurt me. Wise mindset, what boundary did I ignore? What lesson is this teaching me? In every moment, the wise don't ask, who is to blame? They ask, what is this trying to show me about myself? Because the moment you start asking better questions, you begin creating a better life. Daily practice, the radical ownership reflection. Every evening, ask yourself, where did I react instead of respond today? What did I avoid taking responsibility for? How can I own that without guilt, but with power? And then repeat this to yourself. I am not a victim of life. I am the architect of my next chapter. I take full responsibility for the energy I bring, the choices I make, and the results I create. Taking radical responsibility is not a one-time declaration. It's a daily practice of choosing to lead your life from the inside out, with courage, honesty, and grace. And once you own the direction, you need to define where you're actually going. Without a vision, even the most powerful discipline leads nowhere. So now, let's move forward to what the wise always carry with them. A vision so clear, it becomes magnetic. Chapter 2. Define a clear, powerful vision. The future belongs to those who can see it before anyone else can. Once you've taken full responsibility for your life, the next question becomes, where are you taking it? Because action without vision is like running in the dark. You might be moving fast, but you're not moving forward. The wise don't just hustle. They aim. They act with intention. They know exactly what kind of life they're building, not just what they want to avoid. Clarity equals power. Let's get something straight. Vague goals create vague results. When your desires sound like, I just want to be successful, I want to feel better, I hope things improve, you're not giving your mind or your habits anything concrete to attach to. Compare that to, I want to build a business that gives me freedom and impact. I want to wake up energized and focused every morning. I want relationships built on mutual growth and depth. That's the language of clarity. And clarity is power. Because when your vision is clear, your habits know what they're serving. Your time knows where to go. Your energy knows what's worth fighting for. The inner compass. The wise don't just react to life, they design it. They carry a vision in their mind, so vivid, it guides their daily choices like a compass. It doesn't mean they never feel lost. It means that even when they do, they know how to recenter, they know what matters most. They have something to come back to. A real life shift. I worked with a young man once who said he felt off track for years. When I asked him what his vision was, he said, I'm not sure. I just want to not feel stuck anymore. That wasn't a vision. That was a reaction. So we flipped it. We built a clear picture. What would your ideal day look like? How do you want to feel when you wake up? What work would make you proud? What values would guide your decisions? Within 6 weeks, his routine shifted. Not because he had more time or motivation, but because his mind now had a target. And when your mind has a target, your habits find a way. Daily practice. The 3 clarity questions. Each morning or evening, take 5 minutes to ask yourself, what do I truly want to build in the next 6 months? What kind of person do I need to become to build that? What's one small action today that aligns with that version of me? It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be intentional. Tell yourself, I don't need a flawless plan. I need a vivid vision and consistent action. I lead my life with purpose, and my habits follow my clarity. Once your vision is set, the next step is to protect it, with discipline strong enough to outlast emotion. Because it's one thing to want something, it's another to show up for it every single day. Chapter 3. Master Relentless Discipline. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. By Abraham Lincoln. Everyone wants change. Few are willing to stay consistent long enough to earn it. That's why the wise don't rely on motivation. Because motivation fades, they operate on something deeper. Relentless discipline. Not the loud, aggressive kind, but the quiet, internal kind. The type that doesn't care how you feel today, because it already decided what needs to be done. Motivation is emotion. Discipline is identity. You've probably felt it before. The Monday rush of motivation. The new year, new me spark. The exciting start to a new goal. But here's the hard truth. Motivation is a visitor. Discipline is a resident. The wise make their decisions in advance. I go to the gym every morning, whether I feel like it or not. I don't check my phone before 10 a.m. I write 500 words every day, no matter what. These aren't feelings, these are standards. And when you live by standards, not moods, you become unstoppable. The discipline loop, identity, action, evidence. The more disciplined you are, the more evidence your mind gathers that says, this is who I am. Every time you follow through on what you said you'd do, you're not just building habits, you're building self-trust. And self-trust is the foundation of every strong, grounded person you've ever admired. A quiet example, there's a story of a man who built a $100 million company after writing blog posts every single day for 7 years. No viral hits, no shortcuts, no praise, just relentless discipline. A habit so unshakable, it rewired his future. The lesson: success doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it looks like you, sitting alone, doing the work no one sees. Daily practice. The non-negotiables list 3 small actions that align with your vision. Things you do no matter what. For example, meditate 10 minutes each morning, stretch or walk before checking your phone. Write 1 paragraph in your journal every night, set them, keep them, track your consistency, and repeat to yourself, I don't rise to the level of my feelings. I rise to the level of my discipline. You now have the fire of responsibility, the compass of vision, and the armor of discipline. But what happens if your time, your most limited resource, keeps slipping through your fingers? That's what the wise master next. Chapter 4. Own every second of your time. Show me your calendar, and I'll show you your future. There's one resource we all share equally, 24 hours a day. But why do some people create empires, change lives, and still make time for peace, while others feel constantly behind? It's not luck, it's not more talent. It's because the wise know this truth. If you don't control your time, someone else will. The silent leak, time, you'll never get back. Most people don't spend time, they leak it. You wake up and check. Your phone. 30 minutes vanish. You scroll during lunch, another hour gone. You say yes to every request, every distraction, every urgent thing by the end of the day. You're tired, not from working deeply, but from being pulled in 100 directions. And, worst of all, you don't even know where your energy went. The wise protect their time like a sacred ritual. To them, time is not a slot to be filled. It's a temple to be guarded. They don't say yes casually. They don't multitask endlessly. They build a rhythm around what matters most. Their calendar reflects their values. Their routine supports their vision, and they use the word no, not out of rudeness, but out of respect for their future. The energy calendar shift. The wise don't just plan tasks, they plan energy. They know when they feel sharp, and they protect that window for deep work. They block out thinking time. They design buffer zones. They group similar tasks to avoid mental switching costs. They treat time as something to be optimized, not just survived. And because of this, they get more done with less stress and more intention. Daily practice. Time ownership reset. Each night, ask yourself, where did I waste time today? What drained my energy unnecessarily? How can I protect just 1 hour tomorrow for what truly matters? You don't need 8 perfect hours. You need 1 focused hour, used consistently. Affirm this. My time is a mirror of my priorities. I own every minute with intention. I am not busy. I am aligned. Now that your time is protected, your energy is focused, and your discipline is locked in. It's time to elevate the quality of everything you do by raising the standards you live by, because the wise don't settle for just okay. They demand excellence, and they become it. Chapter 5. Raise your standards ruthlessly. You don't get what you want, you get what you tolerate. Take a hard look around your life, your health, your relationships, your mindset, your bank account. They're all mirrors, not of what you desire, but of what you've been willing to accept. And that's the uncomfortable truth. If you want a life that reflects greatness, you must stop tolerating anything less. What you allow, you endorse. Every time you stay silent when your boundaries are crossed, you reinforce that it's okay every time you skip the habit you promised to keep. You tell your brain it wasn't that important. Every time you let negativity, gossip, laziness, or mediocrity in, you teach yourself that this is normal. But here's the thing the wise understand. Normal is not the goal. Excellence is . And excellence is a habit, not a personality trait. Raising your standards isn't harsh. It's healing. Ruthless doesn't mean cruel. It means clear. It means you hold yourself and others accountable to the energy you want to live. Raising your standards doesn't just improve your life, it filters your environment. People who drain you start fading opportunities that waste your time no longer fit. You stop negotiating with your future for temporary comfort. It's like finally cleaning a dirty lens and seeing your life in high definition, a story of inner shift. There was a woman who kept attracting unreliable friends, disappointing clients, and chaotic schedules. She didn't lack potential. She lacked standards, so she started small, woke up at the same time daily, set firm boundaries on phone use, refused to engage in negative self-talk. Within 3 months, everything changed, not because she hustled harder, but because she refused to live on default. She raised her inner bar, and her external world followed. Daily practice, the non-negotiable you. Each morning, ask, what's one thing I'm no longer available for? What standard am I upgrading today? What does my best self tolerate, and what does it reject instantly? Write it, say it out loud, live it. My new standard is the minimum I accept. I only rise. From here, raising your standards builds momentum. And once you have momentum, you must protect it from fragility. You do that not by avoiding pain, but by training in it. That's the next secret the wise live by. Chapter 6. Build mental toughness through resistance. Hard times don't build character, they reveal it. Everyone wants peace of mind, but peace is not found in the absence of challenge. It's found in the presence of inner strength. Don't avoid resistance. They seek it, not because they enjoy pain, but because they know mental toughness is not inherited. It's trained. The growth lies in the struggle. Think about it. Muscle only grows when it meets resistance. The same is true for your mind. Every frustration, every setback, every disappointment is a chance to build durability. The unwise say, why? Is this happening to me? The wise say, what is this preparing me for? They don't flinch when life tests them. They lean in. They grow stronger. They adapt under pressure instead of collapsing under it. Toughness is quiet power. Mental toughness isn't loud or aggressive. It's not about bottling emotions. It's about remaining calm when others panic. It's about being decisive when others doubt. It's about staying the course, especially when no one is watching. The wise build this through repetition, waking up early when it's easier to sleep, saying no when it's uncomfortable, choosing honesty over ease, showing up again and again and again. Each act may seem small, but each one forges an internal steel no one can take away. Real example, the Stoic CEO. There's a story of a CEO who lost 40% of his company's revenue in 1 week. His team expected him to panic. Instead, he calmly said, "This is the test we've trained for. Let's get to work." Why did he respond that way? Because he had trained for pressure. He had lifted heavier burdens in silence. So when the storm hit, he didn't break. He led daily practice, the discomfort reps. Each day do one thing that makes you uncomfortable on purpose. Cold shower, hard conversation, delayed gratification, a task you've been avoiding. Train your mind to see discomfort not as danger, but as discipline in disguise. Every challenge sharpens me. Every resistance strengthens me. I am not fragile. I am forged. You've now built a foundation of responsibility, vision, discipline, time mastery, high standards, and mental resilience. But there's one final secret the wise hold closely, one that elevates every other habit. They feed their inner world with stillness, presence, and peace. It's time to stop chasing and start aligning. Chapter 7. Take immediate, imperfect action. You don't need more time. You need to stop waiting. How many dreams have died in the name of, "I'm not ready yet"? How many breakthroughs were postponed because someone was still planning, still thinking, still perfecting? The wise don't wait for perfect timing. They understand a truth that most never grasp. Clarity is a result of action, not a prerequisite. Speed beats perfection. Perfection is a lie. It's procrastination in disguise. You don't get feedback from ideas, you get it from movement. The wisest people you know didn't start when they were ready. They started when they were committed and figured the rest out on the way. They value momentum over mastery because momentum creates feedback, confidence, course correction, real-world experience. Thinking alone can't give you any of that. Why imperfect? Action wins. Imperfect action is how every master begins. They don't fear looking foolish. They fear staying stuck. They write the messy first draft. They launch the rough version. They speak even when their voice shakes, because action reveals what thinking hides. You don't know what you're capable of until you move. Real story. The reluctant speaker. There was a young man who wanted to become a motivational speaker, but he spent years taking courses, writing scripts, reading books, still no stage, no mic, no impact. One day, a friend said, "You don't need another lesson. You need a video today." He recorded one video with his phone, shaky, imperfect, raw dot. It changed everything. Why? Because it was done. Done beats perfect every time. Daily practice, the 5-second rule of action. Every time your brain says, "Should I do this now? What? If I fail, maybe later." You count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Move, stand up, press record, hit send, start typing, do it scared, do it shaky, do it small, but do it now. Affirm this. I take fast, fearless, imperfect action. I don't wait to be ready. I become ready through movement. My future responds to what I do today. The wise act not because they're fearless, but because they've trained their courage through movement. But even after taking action, there's a deeper threat to your focus, to your energy, to your power: distraction. If you want to protect your momentum, you must master your environment. Chapter 8. Cut the noise. Live with monastic focus. If you don't prioritize your life, someone else will. By Greg McKeown. We live in a world designed to distract you. Your phone, your inbox, the endless scroll. Everyone wants your attention. Because attention is power, but the wise know this. You cannot do deep work with a distracted mind. You cannot become legendary if your focus is scattered. You cannot build unshakable discipline if you live in reaction mode. Distraction is the true enemy of excellence. You think you're multitasking, but you're really fragmenting yourself. Each notification, each scroll, each mental switch costs you clarity, creativity, and control. The wise live differently. They don't just avoid distraction. They design against it, their environment, their schedule, their habits. Everything is structured to eliminate noise, because they understand. Focus isn't just what you say yes to, it's what you ruthlessly say no to. The power of focus. A monastery isn't just a place, it's a mindset. It's the mindset of single tasking over multitasking, silence over chaos, deep over wide. Monastic focus means you protect your mornings, you work in time blocks, you turn off notifications. You train your brain to go deep. This is not extreme. This is the requirement for mastery. In a noisy world, real story, the billionaire who took walks, one of the world's most successful investors, is known for his extreme simplicity. No social media, no constant meetings, just reading, thinking, walking. Someone asked him, "Why don't you optimize your time like other CEOs?" He replied, "Because I'm optimizing for clarity, not chaos." The result? He saw what others missed. He acted with precision, not panic. That's the gift of a quiet mind in a loud world. Daily practice, the 1-hour focus fortress each day. Schedule one sacred hour. No phone, no messages, no interruptions, just one deep focus session. Treat it like a meeting with your future self. What you build in that 1 hour will outperform 10 hours of distracted hustle. Affirm this: I choose depth over distraction. I am unavailable to noise. My focus is sacred. My attention is power, and I guard it like a monk. At this point, you've taken ownership, you've gained clarity, you've acted with discipline, you've protected your energy. But there's one final key left: your identity, because no matter what you do, you will always revert to who you believe you are. Chapter 9. Rewire your self-identity. You will never outperform your self-image. By Maxwell Maltz. You can build habits, you can take action, you can even achieve success. But if deep down, you still see yourself as undisciplined, not enough, someone who always fails, then your growth will be temporary because your identity always wins. Behavior follows identity. Most people try to change by force. I have to wake up early. I should eat healthier. I must focus more. But the wise know, don't force it, recode it. Your brain wants consistency between how you see yourself and how you act. If you see yourself as a powerful executor, someone who follows through, a calm, focused creator, then your habits follow naturally. This is identity-based transformation. The daily identity loop. Every day. You cast votes for who you believe you are. When you journal in the morning, you're voting for, I'm intentional. When you move your body, you're voting for, I respect myself. When you sit in silence, you're voting for, I am grounded. The wise don't just build routines, they build proof of who they are over and over until it becomes unshakable, real. Story: the broken athlete who rewrote his story. After a career-ending injury, a professional athlete spiraled. He lost his drive. His habits collapsed. Then one day he asked himself, what if I'm still a champion, just in a different arena? He rewired his identity, not based on his past title, but on how he shows up each day. Now he mentors others, not as a former athlete, but as a disciplined leader. Everything changed. When his story changed, daily practice identity anchoring. Each morning, write down, who am I becoming today? What action proves that? What story do I leave behind? This simple ritual rewires your identity through behavior and upgrades your life from the inside out. Affirm this: I am not my past. I am not my fears. I am who I decide to be. Today and every day. My identity is unshakable. When your identity is locked in, you don't try to be disciplined. You simply act in alignment with who you are. And now, there's only one thing left. Execute with such relentless power that your past life becomes unrecognizable. Chapter 10. Execute until it's unrecognizable. 6 months of hardcore focus can put you 5 years ahead. There's a point on every journey where talk is done, plans are set, habits are locked in now. You execute. This is the stage where the wise separate from the rest. They don't wait for motivation, they don't chase novelty, they do the work daily, until the world can't ignore what they've built. Consistency over intensity. Anyone can sprint. Few can sustain. The wise aren't loud. They don't need attention, because they trust in something deeper than approval, the compounding power of discipline. Execution isn't sexy. It's early mornings, silent evenings, boring. Repetition, but that's exactly why it works. Because while others are seeking dopamine, the wise are building destiny. No breaks, no halfway, no exit. They show up when it's raining. They show up when it's hard. They show up when no one claps. They don't ask, is this working yet? They ask, did I show up fully today? Because they know the outcome is none of my business. The process is. This mindset turns pressure into peace. It makes you undistractable, unstoppable, unshakable, real. Story: the 6-month rule. An unknown creator once said, "For 6 months, I disappeared. I deleted distractions. I moved in silence. I made my work louder than my words." 6 months later, his business exploded. His mind cleared. His confidence skyrocketed. Not because of luck, but because of quiet, relentless execution. Now people ask, "How did you do it?" He smiles. Because they didn't see the grind. They only see the globe daily. Practice 90 days of relentless execution. Pick one thing to master. A skill, a habit, a project, then show up for it every day, no matter what. Track progress, not perfection. Let results compound silently, patiently, powerfully. At the end of 90 days, you won't just have outcomes. You'll have a new version of you. Final affirmation. I execute relentlessly. I don't seek permission. I don't chase perfection. I build, I grow, I evolve until I become unrecognizable even to the person I used to be. Final message. The life of the wise is built, not found. Now, you've reached the end of this journey, but it's only the beginning of your new life. You've learned what the wise live by. Ownership over blame, clarity over confusion, discipline over emotion, action over delay, standards over average, focus over chaos, identity over image, execution over excuses. You have the map, but the map is useless without motion. So move with courage, move with conviction, move like someone who knows transformation isn't found. It's forged, and now you are the one holding the hammer.
Thank you for spending this moment with Awaken Light Audio. If something today touched your heart or opened your mind, don't keep it to yourself. Share your thoughts in the comments. What spoke to you most? Tell us about your journey, your questions. Send it their way, because light grows when it's shared. Until next time, stay present, stay awakened, and keep becoming who you're meant to be.